Hello all, and I welcome to this live session on Unacademy. And this live session is going to be about how to get the most benefit out of the NCRTs. So you must have heard that everyone suggests that NCRTs are a must for this kind of an exam, whether it be UPSC or PCS. But how we should go about it, how to get the maximum output from the input that you when you read the NCRTs. How should you approach them? This will be the main issue of this live session. So, hello, and I welcome you all. And you may have a look of my previous sessions here at Unacademy about how to approach other fundamental books for this exam, UPSC Civil Services exam in particular. And in this session, we are going to discuss about NCRTs. But first of all, let me tell you why NCRTs are so important, why everyone underscores the need to read them and revise them again and again before actually going for this exam. So this will bring us to the main question that first you should need to be clear about what this exam is all about. So this exam, UPSC Civil Services exam, whether it is prelims or mains, tests your basic knowledge about a lot of sections. So I would just give you an example of a most fundamental NCERT that we have for polity, which is called as Indian Constitution at Work. So this is the standard book that everyone suggests. This is Constitution Why and How. The first title, as you can see in the contents, is Constitution Why and How. So this is, as you can see, that this is something very basic about our Constitution, and this obviously will not be asked as a direct question in the mains. But yes, one must be aware that why our Constitution is there, what is the background of it, why it was brought into existence, and knowing this, you will be able to write or answer any question whatsoever it may be about Constitution. At least this will provide you an introduction to start your answers in main examination, and also some facts based upon the background of how our Constitution came into existence that can also be answered in the MCQ format. So then the second topic will be the rights in the Indian Constitution. So I am just giving you a brief outline of how you should go about the basic NCERTs and why are they so important, whether it is your prelims or your mains. And also one thing which has been witnessed in the last few years in prelims, that UPSC has asked many simple questions that could easily be deciphered directly from the NCERTs, provided that you have revised them again and again. So I'm just giving you an example how to approach each chapter of this basic NCERT that you have for polity. Everyone recommends Indian Polity by Lakshmikant, and even I have did in my previous sessions. But what is important is that whenever you are reading NCERTs, you should approach them in a way that you get the maximum output. And this is the third chapter. Second is rights in the Indian Constitution. Obviously, in the newspaper, in the Hindu that you referred to, every day you get a news related to somehow to the rights, every other day at least. Like in the previous weeks, right to privacy was discussed because Supreme Court had come up with a judgment. And similarly, Section 377 was also discussed, in fact, yesterday. And it has also something to do with the right to privacy. So how all these things are interrelated, if it is asked in a mains question, then you must know the background. And for this, you need to know the rights which have been mentioned in the Indian Constitution and what could be something better than NCERTs to start with. Obviously, they are enumerated in Lakshmikant by Indian Polity by Lakshmikant, but you need to know the background in simple terms, then only you will be able to write an effective and a simple answer, and that is the need of the examination as far as the main is concerned. Then the third chapter, as you can see, and this is just for an example that I am going one by one. As far as the chapters are concerned, election and representation. So elections are due in many of the states in this year itself, and Lok Sabha elections are due for 2019. So you should know what is the basis on which our election machinery is based upon the first past the post system that we have in our democracy. What is it all about? What advantages it has over other systems that are there in the world, whether it be Switzerland, Argentina, or many other countries which have democracies. So election representation is a very important topic here, and only when you know the background you will be able to analyze. Although we will not go into the politics of it, and we must stay politically neutral, but we should know what is the election machinery and how does it operate, what is the whole structure on which our democracy is based upon. And then the most important topics: executive, legislature, judiciary, federalism. These four things, especially these three, the executive, legislature, and judiciary, the three pillars of our democracy, as they are popularly called as. So the most basic things about them you must be aware of, then only you can go to the advanced levels. So in order to understand and comprehend what is given there in the Hindu newspaper, whenever news related to these three pillars of our democracy comes, you must be aware about the most basic things which you will get from the NCERTs, and that is why I am coming with this live session, so as for all aspirants to know how to approach the most basic NCERTs so as to get the maximum out of them. Then Constitution as a living document is the penultimate chapter in this book, and it is quite an interesting one because indeed our Constitution is a living document. Why? Because it can be amended, and there are several provisions with respect to whatever has been drafted in the initial Constitution which can be changed, and the way and the process of the change itself has also been described in detail. So then the philosophy of the Constitution, on what philosophy is it based, that also you need to know, and that you can use in almost any answer in the main examination. And even the prelims, many basic questions are asked with regards to the preamble, what is the status of the preamble, whether it is a part of the Indian Constitution or not. So you can also answer MCQs if the need be. So this is quite a basic one, basic book, basic NCERT, Indian Constitution at work. And while you are reading it for the first time, it is quite an interesting read, but then you have to revise it again and again. Otherwise, you will miss out on some details which may be asked in the MCQs. So this is just one example of how to approach the basic NCERTs that we have that are highly recommended. And then similarly for economics, Indian Economic Development is the book that you must go through. And as far as the economic surveys is concerned, which is highly recommended, for prelims as well as for mains. For prelims, you will get a lot of facts from the economic survey, and for mains, you will get to write a lot of fodder points for your answers. So economy is something which many of the students who are new to it find difficult to prepare for UPSC civil services examination. So this is development policies and experience. Indian economy on the eve of independence is the first chapter. So just like the NCERT on polity, we have also seen that here also a background is given about Indian economy as it existed on the eve of independence. So this is kind of a high value chapter, and you will get an introduction for many of your answers in mains. So you must not skip these basic kind of chapters in NCERTs, or not have much time to approach your NCERTs, but then you can slog through. And just mark the important points in the book itself. Do not need to make any notes. That will be very time consuming because you have a lot of NCERTs to cover. But yes, go through all the chapters, mark them, highlight them, and make a small, just scribble on the book itself, make small one-liners which are important and which you can quote in your answers, because these are very basic books and you will get to know about India in a lot of detail. Indian economy on the eve of independence, Indian economy 1950 to 1990. Why they have given this timeline classification? Because in 1990, Indian economy saw a kind of a breakthrough when LPG reforms were introduced. So you will also get to know about them in the second unit and the third chapter, liberalization, privatization, globalization, economic reforms is 1991. So all the basics that you need to know about Indian economy are itself covered in this Indian Economic Development NCERT of 11th class, textbook for class 11th, and you should revise it again and again. Obviously, in the main exam, you are going to be asked advanced questions, but then the background of each of your answer will come from here itself. So development experience of India is the last chapter, and a comparison with neighbors. This is quite an interesting chapter as far as Indian economy is concerned, because they have compared Indian economy with its neighbors like Pakistan, China, and on the basis of the GDP, on the basis of human development and other demographic indicators. So you can quote these. Obviously, the data is outdated with the book that I'm having at my hand, but yes, you can quote a lot of things in your answers as far as the comparative perspective is required. And this is why NCERTs are so useful and the input to output ratio is so high. So similarly, there is a chapter on environment and sustainable development as well, and sustainable development is always a burning issue. So this was the most fundamental NCERTs that we have. Then comes to history. In mains, as all of you know, in the GS paper 1 we have world history or history of the world, and there are a lot of books to refer to, but input output ratio is not as high. You must start with this basic NCERT themes in world history for class 11th. It's an interesting piece to read, and you can see that it has started from BC, but as far as the syllabus of UPSC is concerned, you just have to read or study from the middle of the 18th century and the major philosophies like socialism, etc., the communism, as we all know it is called as, and then this is you must start from section 4 towards modernization, and the timeline is given 1700 to 2000, and that would be okay as far as the UPSC main syllabus for world history is concerned. So 1700 to 2000, industrial revolution is there, indigenous people displacing them, colonialism as we may like to call it, and path to modernization. So only 3 chapters you are concerned with, theme 9, 10 and 11, and that is all that you need to know as far as the syllabus is concerned from this book called as Themes in World History for class 11th. And similarly, there are books for paper 1 itself, GS paper 1, that is the paper 2 of the UPSC main examination scheme. These are the 2 NCERTs introducing sociology and introducing or understanding Indian society. So these 2 books are fundamental for sociology, and for non-sociology aspirants who just need to prepare for GS paper 1 sociology, that is there in the syllabus. You just need to go through these 2 books of NCERT, and that would be enough, sufficient knowledge for you to write good answers for sociology. And you just need to be aware about some social issues that are covered in the newspaper and magazines. And another thing that I would like to for you people to know is that there are a lot of NCERTs, and you must go through all of them at least once from 6th to 12th. And for those who are already lagging in science and technology, you may have to revise it again and again many times. Then only you will have some grasp over science and technology. And then this is kind of a basic overview of how you should approach your NCERTs. I have for economics and polity, I have gone one by one. And so you can start from 6th itself for those who do not have a basic understanding in any particular subject, whether it be geography, economics or polity. And these were 2 examples that I just gave. And now, to underscore the importance of reading NCERTs, I would like to show you some reviews from toppers. Almost all the toppers have given the review that they have gone through the NCERTs multiple times, and then only they have advanced to higher books. And as far as for Hindi medium students, as one of the users, Aditi Sharma, has asked here, you can obviously go for the Hindi versions of the NCERTs, and they are as good as the English ones, let me assure you that. And so that is it for Hindi or English medium. NCERTs are the best book available, and almost you can get the full coverage of the syllabus of UPSC, and whatever is left out, you can go through my previous session on other fundamental books other than the NCERTs. So you have to read every NCERT which you're not comfortable with. Say for example, science and technology, those from non-science background must go through the science and technology NCERTs at least 3 times, and then only you will get a grasp. For those who are comfortable in their own subjects, they may just have a look on their NCERTs, and that would be enough. So it should be on an average 2 times at least. And then let me just underscore the importance of reading NCERTs. This is the marks card of Ummul Khair, and she has got the rank, All India rank 420. She's from JNU, and you must have heard her story on the news channels, and even on Unacademy there is an interview of hers. She had obtained 795 marks into year 2016 mains out of the 1750 marks, and she has also emphasized upon the need to study NCERTs. Even in fact, she used to teach poor students where she was living in Delhi, and she was all alone on her own for 14 years, including the time she prepared for UPSC, and that is why her achievement is so big. She got the All India rank 420. So she had been teaching students from small classes itself while she was studying. So that you must keep in your mind that you have to cover these NCERTs again and again, whether you're teaching it to somebody else, to some students, if you happen to be a teacher, or you are just doing a self-study. And similarly, other toppers that you have here, this is Tina Dabi, and This is Athar Amirul Shafi Khan, and all of you must be able to correlate. These are the All India rankers 1 and 2, respectively, in the year 2015 mains. And this is the scorecard of Tina Dabi. She had scored in the year 2015 mains. She had scored a great score of 868 out of 1750, 868, and Athar Amirul Khan was not much behind. He had scored 825, 825 the main score out of 1750 in the year 2015. So both of them have also again and again emphasized upon the need to read NCERTs first and then only go to advanced books as per your convenience. So this is just to underscore the importance from the toppers of reading NCERTs at least twice. And then this is all I wanted to tell you, that this is very important. Go through NCERTs, never ignore them, thinking that they are just basic books and that won't help you to reach any further in this exam, because even the toppers who have secured such high marks have referred to NCERTs again and again, and then only they have went on to advanced books, no matter from which background. Athar Amir was from a science background. He was in fact an engineer, and Tina Dabi was from humanities background. She had political science from her school days till the UPSC exam. And this is my score, which I had already shown on this platform, 702 mains marks in 2016. 702 was my score. So based upon whatever I have got, I would like to emphasize that maybe I had kind of ignored many of the NCERTs, and in order to score above 800, almost all of them, even though Umul Khair had 795, which was kind of 5 to 6% more marks than me in the 2016 mains, and she ended up with All India rank 420. She had 795 marks in her mains. So she has also again emphasized upon the importance. In fact, she was a teacher and she was giving tuitions to students from 5th to in fact 10th class. And this is what underlines the need and importance of NCERTs. They are very basic books, but they are very well crafted. In fact, many of the faculty from JNU are kind of consulted, and they are the members of the core committee, and they are very good in humanities. And at least for those who are from science background, you must refer to the humanities. Then only you will get an overview of how to go for those subjects like history, geography, so Indian society, as far as the main exam is concerned. And for prelims, you will get a lot of facts from NCERT itself, although they may not be updated, and you must update them from other sources as well in order to supplement, like the economic survey as far as Indian economic development is concerned. But then you have a NCERT also in the class 11th with the same name, and then you should go through it, and you will get a lot of fodder points for your mains exam. So this was all that I needed to tell you in this session about importance of NCERTs, the significance, and how to get the maximum benefit out of the NCERTs that we have. And old or new, this is the most obvious question that is going to arise, whether you should go for the old NCERTs or the new ones. But then it is okay. Old and new, both are good as per your convenience. In science, NCERTs are enough for those who are from non-science background, and then you can obviously update the current affairs of the developments in science and technology as the syllabus says, whether it be nanotechnology, biotechnology, or say for example information technology. Any stream of science and technology, you must be updated in addition to what the supplementary basic reading that you do from NCERTs. So NCERTs would be enough from class 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. And for biology, even go for the 12th ones, as I have already stated in my previous sessions. For 11th and 12th, go for bio and read them, because ecology portion that is mentioned there in prelims as well as main, so UPSC civil services examination, is going to be covered from that biology textbook of class 12th. There are 4 chapters to be specific for ecology and 2 chapters for biotechnology, and that would be enough for people from non-science background. Obviously, those who are having optionals as science, they must obviously go for advanced study from their graduation. So thank you so much all for tuning into this live session, and just follow the NCERTs that you have and revise them, and again make a timetable, as I had already suggested you people to do. A timetable like this, just draw a weekly calendar and a monthly calendar, and this is it. Plan your NCERTs accordingly, revise them and again before the preliminary exam, and then you can do once again before the mains exam. So thank you so much, and I would be answering all the other questions in the comment section below. Do subscribe to our Unacademy channel. You can find my lessons on the app itself. Thank you.